What is going on, everybody? It's KB. Before the episode starts, make sure you go check out StreamerSZN's brand new theme music. That's right. We have full-time, brand new theme music thanks to the newest homie and newest member of the music side of Underground Sports Philadelphia homies. That is Mobley. Stay Volk. His new single is out now. It is linked in the description on YouTube, and you'll be hearing it on audio until we can figure out if we can play it on video on StreamerSZN episodes from here on out. That's our new theme music. Stay Volk. Go download it now wherever you get your music, and go check out the music video on YouTube. But now, let's get into the episode of StreamerSZN.
Philadelphia, baby, you're gonna love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
Welcome back, fellow streamers, to another edition of StreamerSZN, the exclusive TV and movie podcast on the Underground Industries Podcast Network. KB and Christian back in the saddle. I know in our last episode we promised our Stranger Things full-blown episode. Had some scheduling conflicts with DJ, but that will be coming. But guess what? You get another 2-for-1 marquee special as Christian and I are going to break down two very fun, very awesome movies: Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie. We're calling this Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie, the podcast breakdown. And then we're going to do Sinners, because your boy finally got a chance to see Sinners.
It's about damn time.
And then we're going to just run through some Letterboxd stuff, what we've been watching, touch on the BAFTAs a smidge, and all that good stuff. But before we get into everything, make sure you guys are following us at StreamerSZN across the board on the socials. TikTok, it's at StreamerSZN Pod. Subscribe to the pod on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts in audio form. Leave us a 5-star review, 5-star comment, 5-star rating and comment on Spotify. It helps the show continue to grow. You can also watch the show on Spotify now, so if that's your thing, go right ahead and do that. And then we are working to get the movie and show breakdowns from last episode moving forward onto the StreamerSZN YouTube channel. So that's where those things will live, youtube.com/@StreamerSZN. But full episodes available on the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel, youtube.com/@Underground Sports Philadelphia. Leave a like on the video, drop a comment in the comments section, and click that bell icon so you know whenever new videos go live. Chris, we got a 2-for-1 marquee special on the episode once again. Nirvana.
Who would have thunk it?
Movie, Sinners. I told you, Marty Supreme reinvigorated my wanton desire to go watch movies. And last week I went to the theater twice in a week.
And one thing I will say is these were two movies of very different hype cycles.
Yes.
Where and we can talk about this when it comes to the movies, but Sinners was very much a, like, when we were like 6 months, 7 months after, we're like, oh, Ryan Coogler vampire movie. In terms of the people who knew what this project was, we're like, oh, Ryan Coogler vampire movie. I will be seated. I'm sure I'll have a good time. I don't know, like, if it'll be a 5-star instant classic. And then we get the first trailer and we're like, And then we sit down for it and we're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Whereas Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie, which was a movie spin-off of the Canadian TV show Nirvana, the band, the show, which was done by the guys who made the Blackberry movie, which is what was able to have them make this movie, that my movie-loving friends had no clue existed or what it was. That's how much of, like, a cult movie this was. And we'll talk about it when we break it down, but it's one of the more inventive, fun IP things you've watched in probably ages.
Yeah. Like,
and even to call it IP is not fair, because I don't know how many people from the US have even seen Nirvana, the band, the show.
Right. Like, I'll put it this way: I went into that movie
Blind as a
simply
bat.
seeing the trailer that Christian showed me, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm in on this." And coming out of that theater, I was like, "I need to watch every single episode of this TV show." Which I don't know if you saw this too. Matt Johnson is the one that did the Blackberry movie. That's also
sounds right.
he's also directing, I believe, the Anthony Bourdain biopic.
Oh right, yeah, this thing starring Dominic Sessa of The
Yeah.
Holdovers, which Kyle, you've seen that, right?
I think I have.
If you haven't, we're adding that to the list of things to talk about.
Oh yeah, I gotta add that to the list. I have not seen Holdovers.
Yeah, Paul. We may have to rope Pats. We may have to rope Pitts into that because they go to Boston.
Yeah, Stavros is also in the Anthony Bourdain biopic.
Which I don't know who the fuck he's gonna play in that, but that energy just feels right. I don't know.
It would be fitting if he just played himself, honestly.
Though I will say, pardon the pun, I do have some reservations about that movie. Like I want to like it. I want a Bourdain movie to be good, but I also think Bourdain was so one of one that you can't. I don't think it's possible.
It's gonna be fascinating. Do we want to start with Nirvana or do we want to start with Sinners?
Let's start with Nirvana so we can make people stick around for the main course.
Good call. So yeah, Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie.
Kyle, do you want to give them the background on this movie?
Cover band trying to get a gig at the Rivoli, which, if you haven't watched the show, that is basically the premise of the entire show too. Like that is their plot of every episode of the show, pretty much.
It's basically them scheming to play in this bar, essentially.
Yeah, which is hysterical that they're just like trying to get into like a bar that like I don't even know what the equivalent would be for like people around us for the Rivoli, but like I don't know, just based on where I went to go see this, it would be like them going and playing at like Ots.
No, that's being mean to the Rivoli. I feel
True.
I feel like it's like trying to play at like some like weird niche bar in like Fishtown or something.
Yeah.
That's probably the Fishtown or in like South Philly.
Yeah.
That's probably the best equivalent we can draw to what the Rivoli could contend to be, even though we've never been to the Rivoli or seen inside the Rivoli. But that's besides the point.
Which is hysterical.
Yeah.
The whole premise of them trying to play the Rivoli, it reminds me of the humanized version of Scrat trying to get the acorn in Ice Age.
They're like a dog chasing a bone.
Yes.
And it's a continual loop of schemes of trying to get that. It is Wile E. Coyote trying to get. It's Wile E. Coyote trying to get a concert gig.
Yes. And like the level of scheme as you're watching this movie, you're just like, Jesus Christ, man, just go to the restaurant and ask to play the place.
Yeah, that's as we'll touch on. Their opening scheme is to parachute into the Rogers Center. And it's like, okay, there's multiple things we need to unpack about that scheme.
So funny. Also, before we shout out to their cameramen and shout out to the editors, because it had to be a pain in the ass to edit all of that footage together, but also it just looked incredible.
Yeah, it definitely was. So I don't know how to say this without us diving into the movie already, but like it's almost shot like it's people just running around following them with a camera. So it's so it's not even like it's traditional cinematography. Like at one point, someone's shooting around the shelf of a hardware store, and I'm like, did they just walk into a hardware store and shoot this?
It was very like, as someone who was, a teenager when we time travel. Yes, time travel is a part of this.
We'll get to that.
Like when I was a teenager in 2008, like this felt very me logging onto YouTube and watching YouTube 1.0, and that I feel like as we progress further, in the timeline of life, that's a harder and harder thing to replicate, and they did just a perfect job of like transporting you to the year 2008.
With what I will say is some really fun like CGI for a movie that did not have much of a budget.
Mm-hmm.
Like
the budget for this movie was $2 million.
And what's the box office at now?
According to Wikipedia, 2.4.
Perfect, splendid. Which I forget where I saw this, but it was like earlier this week at a showing in Toronto. Everything but the first row was sold out.
Yeah, and I saw there was one screening or something, and they saw that it was like sold out at like this huge theater, and they both traveled to that showing and like watched the movie with everyone.
Yeah, like that's the fun thing about like supporting indie films. Gets really fun shit like that to happen, and it lets people like this continue to do their wild, dumb, goofy escapades, which gives us really fun stuff. Which we'll talk about it at the end of the at the end of the movie, but they don't make movies like this anymore. But also, movies like this didn't necessarily exist to begin with, as we're about to describe the plot of this.
Yeah, and I mean, for reference, for a movie like this that had a limited release, the scores speak for themselves. 97% on Rotten Tomatoes, 8.5 on IMDb, 4.4 Letterboxd, 93% Google. Like, people have loved this movie.
Yeah, then so I'm gonna say this, and I'm trying not to do this in a poor way. The insanity of this movie made me think of a movie I came over to show you at one point.
Yes.
It's and I'm going to evoke this name, and people may show up in the comments like I just said Beetlejuice 3 times. This very much had the everything everywhere all at once vibes of where we're doing a comedy and we're doing something heartfelt, but it's also batshit fucking insane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. And I mean, the premise, like the plot breakdown of the movie is one last plan. When they're planning to book a show at the Rivoli goes horribly wrong. Matt and Jay accidentally travel back to the year 2008. Blah blah blah.
Yeah. So let's break down this plan and the blah blah blah.
Also, my theater going experience for this was incredible. It was me and just 3 other dudes in the theater, and some of the hardest laughs I have had in a theater in quite some time at some of the moments in this movie.
So mine, it was me and about 10 to 15 other people, and while I say it was we were all somewhat muted, we did have a few quite large laughs. We did have quite
I have 3 in particular that we will definitely
talk about.
That just like, I was like, oh my god, they did that.
Yeah.
So here we go. If you've not seen Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie,
The podcast recap.
Here is the podcast recap. Pause it. Go watch it. I heard they're dropping physical media of not only the movie soon, but also every season of the show, which is exciting. So
Gotta buy that shit.
I will be buying that.
Just like the wooden Hundreds of Beavers case. Oh my god, I have to watch Hundreds of Beavers.
Oh boy.
and on to be clear for anyone, that's not the name of a porno. Hundreds of Beavers.
Speaking of, I woke up from a nap today.
Oh god.
I go upstairs and I just look at my TV. I look at who's sitting on my couch. My mom is watching Heated Rivalry.
Heyo. Anyway, no, Hundreds of Beavers is it's like a Charlie Chaplin film about a guy who, after beavers destroy his cider stand, he goes out and seeks revenge and becomes a beaver hunter. And it's in black and white. It is it's a quote unquote silent film where it's like no one's actually saying dialogue, but there is like sound and everything. And the beavers are people in beaver costumes.
Oh Christ.
And you have like people in rabbit costumes. And so
you're not beating the allegations of what you're denying that this is critical.
Well, when I tell you it was it was summer 2024. 24. He says, checking the calendar on his computer. I went to the Prince Charles Cinema in London. Just on a whim, because I was like, I'm in London. I have an empty afternoon. This is one of the most famous movie theaters in the city, and they were showing Hundreds of Beavers. I'm like, I've heard a lot about this film. It's this tiny film that's not playing in any major theaters because they're like doing this like indie theater thing where basically how they were distributing it was any theater could ask for it, but it was a 50-50 split. And I go in, and I don't know, it's probably like 150 seat theater, and this is at like 2 p.m. on like a Friday or Saturday or something. It's like 75% full, and it's one of the great movie experiences I've had, because this crowd was so game for the absolute fucking absurdity that is Hundreds of Beavers. I will show you the trailer after we get off the air, because it's truly one of the strangest, funniest things I've ever fucking watched.
That's incredible.
Anyway,
so here we go. Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie,
the podcast recap.
So in 2008, Toronto musicians Matt Johnson and Jay McCarroll from Nirvana, the band, in the hopes of playing a show at the Rivoli. 17 years later, they have still not secured a show, with their schemes repeatedly failing, and Matt proposes a publicity stunt to skydive off the CN Tower into the Sky Dome during a Blue Jays game to promote the band, which was called Seventh Inning Skydive.
Again, it's real Wile E. Coyote Scooby-Doo shit, where it's like, yes, okay, so here's this elaborate plan that's going to that is 100% not going to work, but nonetheless,
so funny. So when they go to the hardware store, and it just feels like it's just real life just being recorded, and the guy's like, I can't
endorse that.
You guys do this. I can't endorse this. And he's like,
however,
but it'll do it, right?
Sure.
He goes to shake his hand. He's like, no, I can't do that.
I legitimately think they just walked into a hardware store and did that without that guy knowing, because
Yes.
you literally have people coming up to ask the guy about where things are and stuff. And it's like you can't script that. You can't script that. It doesn't seem that natural. I'm sorry.
Oh, it was so good. I was dying laughing. So, and then they go into security at the CN Tower and he buzzes because he's got the pliers in his back pocket. They're like, "So why do you have these?" And he's like, "Oh, it's for cutting my pants."
It's
So
truly, truly, truly something special.
And then Matt throws Jay off the
CN Tower
after he cuts his harness. And the plan fails because the CN Tower is closing the roof
because of weather. Because no one checked the weather forecast, everyone.
Oh. So,
and then fire rescue people had to get them down. Which, like, first of all, they didn't get arrested.
Right.
They didn't get arrested for destroying property on the CN Tower and then skydiving onto the top of a building, and then having to be rescued for skydiving off the top of a building in what's closed airspace, where I'm pretty sure there's no skydiving.
Right. You pushed me off the CN Tower.
Oh God.
Oh, so good. The attempt fails, like we said, when the skydome roof closes during their dive, deepening Jay's frustrations and disillusionment with Matt's schemes. Jay secretly books an open mic slot in Ottawa, while Matt becomes convinced they can persuade the Rivoli by pretending to be time travelers. It's like, buddy, just book a show.
Jay's getting truly depressed. He is truly depressed.
Matt is literally the Uno meme. It's like, book a show at the Rivoli or draw 25 cards. Sitting there with a full deck of cards.
Oh dear.
Oh man. So he modifies the RV with fake time travel equipment inspired by Bennett.
Is it though? Is it though? I mean, he's taking all this. He's taking all this electrical hardware from the basement. It's like, do you just have this shit lying around, and you somehow build a flux capacitor without nuclear material? Did you rob a nuclear plant in the middle of the night, or what's going on here?
Here's the thing too with the time travel, which we'll talk more about it, obviously, but I feel like there's so many movies that just like fall into, oh, let's do time travel. This movie did time travel, even though it's ripped off of one of, if not the best time travel movie ever. They did it perfectly.
Yeah, it's there's it does time travel in a humorous but serious way, specifically when they explained how the time travel actually worked.
Yeah.
But I'd say it's a very good homage.
Mm-hmm. So we get the modification with the Back to the Future inspiration, but Matt accidentally spills his last bottle of Orbits on it. For people who don't know what Orbits are,
Kyle, educate the public.
It is a non-concentrated fruit-flavored beverage produced by the Cleary Food and Beverage Company of Canada. That was discontinued in 1999. It was introduced in 1996. The drink was sold in 5 flavors and made with small floating edible fruit-flavored jelly beads. Hence the name Orbits. I like vaguely remember this, but it wasn't.
I didn't at all.
It wasn't in the U.S., I don't think.
No shit.
But I like vaguely remember like the name Orbits and like that being a drink, but like I never had it, obviously, or like saw it.
Yeah, I don't think I'd ever seen what one looks like until they actually put it on screen. I'm like, that thing?
Spills his last bottle of Orbits on all of the time travel equipment. sets fire to it. And next morning, Jay attempts to leave for Ottawa in the RV, learning too late that Matt is still inside sleeping in the back bed. Jay's driving that thing up to speed, and boom, zap.
He hits 88 miles an hour.
Transported to 2008, baby.
And almost runs into a cable car.
Then they're like trying to clean the newspapers up, and they're recognizing everything.
Well,
2008.
one of them is.
Yeah, one is still trying to escape.
Oh, look. What was it? Adele booking the Rivoli.
Yeah. Adele was booking the Rivoli. We had the Dark Knight giant poster.
Yeah. What was the hair gel thing?
Oh, what was the hair gel?
I don't remember, but like that was the one where most people were like, "That's the most 2008 thing."
The one that got like hearty laughs out of us was the back of the bus advertisement, which was "Got milk," and it was Jared from Subway.
Yeah. Okay, it's just.
I was like, oh, they went there.
just elite level shit in this movie. It knew what it was doing. It knew what it was doing.
And then the next big laugh was the Black Eyed Peas playing their original mix,
playing the uncensored version. Everyone.
Yeah.
that happened. I went, whoa, time out.
Oh, I was like, oh, this is so 2008.
But the best part is that was playing in the background, and they like weren't paying attention to it at all. Just like
it was so like subtle, but neither of them reacted to it whatsoever. But it was just like perfect montage of like everything in 2008 going on. They realized the orbits caused the time machine to work, and then they go to the movies.
And then they fully clock it.
And they no.
No, didn't they fully clock it after the movie when everyone was laughing at The Hangover?
Yeah. They're going to see The Hangover. They do the very 2008 joke from The Hangover. And the pan to Matt's face where he goes, "Oh."
Oh.
Meanwhile, everyone around him is cackling like the hyenas from
Lion King. Oh God.
But they realize that the time machine worked. They attempt to obtain another bottle of orbits because
they have to, and none were still in circulation, but they had a box in their old apartment.
So they have to go and attempt to obtain another bottle from their younger selves in their apartment. Matt and Jay narrowly avoid being discovered, and an interaction between the younger Jay and the older Matt makes the older Jay reconsider leaving the band. That whole sequence was like when they're on the street and just hiding from. Hey, does that look like you?
and then their past selves are like, hey, that and all it was the one putting on the jacket and the hat, and the other one putting the other thing on.
It's so cartoony, but it was like so perfect. And then when they're in the apartment and Matt is walking by Jay, who like wakes up out of a slumber, he's like, "I'm just part of a dream."
Spooky.
Oh, so good. But the interaction between younger Jay and older Matt makes older Jay reconsider leaving the band. He confesses to his initial plan to go solo, so he hurt Matt alters their 2008 selves plan, which, mind you, going into this, they say we can't touch anything except the orbits bottle because anything we change here will change everything.
The butterfly effect.
Yes, literally referenced, which was great. And he alters their plans on the whiteboard to instruct their younger selves to not play the Rivoli.
It is pointless.
And then all chaos just ensues because they return to 2025, where Jay has become an extremely successful musician.
No, but it's
all over the billboards.
It's funny the way they reveal that, because Matt gets knocked out by.
I hit my ass.
And he gets out and he's walking around and he sees billboards of Jay everywhere, advertising literally everything.
Recorded, which was hysterical.
So I will say this: the fact that in the span of 2 days I watched 2 movies that had Anthony Fantano cameos. This and The Moment, I'm like, what the fuck is happening? But and then he goes home, and now he's the J. That's up there in maybe my favorite sequence of the film. When he gets there, he ends up hopping on the drum kit, and then Kyle, if you just want to break it down.
Just 3 other guys there, and he's just wondering who the hell they are. He recognizes he has a Jay McCarroll tattoo on his arm. And he's like, the one guy's like, yeah, we all have them. We're in a Jay McCarroll cover band.
No.
He's like, I get it. This is just me split into 4.
Enough with the joke, Jay. I get it. I get it. I get it. My long, stupid plans with Winter Dormers down the other. Oh God.
Oh, so good. But yes, he's in a Jay McCarroll cover band, and Jay is playing a concert, and Matt goes and confronts him, but Jay denies having any knowledge of the time machine. And then afterwards, Jay sneaks out and smashes the last bottle of Orbits. And without Matt, Jay finds celebrity life hollow and lonely, and in an attempt to make friends with his new band. This was unbelievable.
This was, I think, the moment that generated the biggest reaction.
Oh my God, I almost peed my pants.
It was truly a great timing thing.
Because, like, they could, like, the rest of the movie, like, they could have, like, just done, like, whatever, but this moment was worth the price of admission alone.
Yeah.
Because Jay tries to make friends with his new band, and he takes a gun off the wall, thinking that it is the
Nerf gun,
pellet type gun that they had in the apartment at the beginning of the movie, and Jay shoots and kills one of his band.
Truly batshit insane stuff.
Oh,
and
I was like, oh my God.
And then he's running away from the scene of the crime. like he's in a cartoon, to get back to the old apartment and try and play like he doesn't remember everything. And he's like, well, what if you murdered someone?
What about 2 days ago?
Yeah, what was this guy?
Or maybe I murdered someone. So yes, Jay returns to Matt, still claiming to be the alternate version of himself. He offers to help the timeline, secretly intending only to reverse the events of the scandal. Without Orbits, Matt recalls the lightning struck the CN Tower the night their skydiving plan failed. They attempt to power the RV's time circuits using a cable stretched from the top of the CN Tower, connected to a power box at an intersection.
Which that's truly maybe the most hilarious part. How it's like, okay, so that's up there, and we're trying to search to this specific one. Like there isn't one closer. There isn't one closer at all.
I was like, this is the longest extension cord I've ever seen in my life. And as the authorities pursue Jay, the cable disconnects from the top of the tower, forcing Matt to reconnect it. The cable is then too short to connect to the power box on the other end. As Matt tries to plug it back in, he sees the news that Jay has murdered someone. He ultimately completes the circuit, using his body, sacrificing himself to power the time machine. And Jay,
It's something else, man.
Sacrifice travels back. It's just the perfect, like you said, like Wile E. Coyote type shit. Jay sees Matt's sacrifice, travels back to 2008, and alters Matt's previous message to encourage their younger selves to play the Rivoli. And in the present, Matt once again proposes the skydiving plan, unaware of the previous timeline's events. And Jay suggests beginning the plan earlier to avoid complications.
Oh, God. Truly a wonderful time at the theater.
So good.
Which it's funny because it's stupid, but there's also such like a heartfelt core to it that I think people can attach themselves to, where this isn't like a Wes Anderson movie where it's like very heartfelt, but also like it's pitched in such a way. Like this movie's tonally, like it's not full on like Mel Brooks' Naked Gun, but it has a lot of that energy.
Yeah.
And so if you're down with the gag, like you were gonna have a fun time.
And like I said, like I went into this not knowing anything really about the show and had one hell of a time. So it's like one of those things that like it probably only enhances your experience if you know about Nirvana the band, the show, but you don't necessarily have to know about it to enjoy this movie. And I think that's also what makes it great, where it's like you don't need to do prior homework to watching this movie to still have a blast watching it.
No, you can fully dive headfirst into the stupidity.
And it's just I texted you when I was done. I was like, that was incredible. They don't make movies like that anymore.
Nope.
And like it was I don't know where I put it in terms of like comedies over the last decade, but it's up there.
Yeah, it's definitely among the top.
It was just so perfectly like kooky and zany and like heartfelt with like the friendship dynamic as well, and it was a blast of a time. I'm glad I got to see it in theaters. But yeah, let me pull up our Letterboxd reviews here. Absolutely loved it. My review: this movie was so fun, hilarious, and a great story about friendship, and it's all tied together with the power of 2008. What an awesome movie. Indie comedies rock so hard, and we need more of these type of movies being made regularly. And even though it's a spoof of Back to the Future, the time travel aspect of this movie is done brilliantly. Christian, your review: genuinely funny, goofy, and heartfelt film about friendship, music, time travel, greed, and shenanigans. Every time you think you have the film locked down, it spins itself down another alleyway. Indie comedy, still alive and well.
Yep.
Absolutely spectacular movie. Everyone that I have like talked to that has seen it or I've watched like reviews on it feel the same way we do. I sent it to a couple of people, including our pal DJ, and he was like, "Oh, this movie is made for me." And I was like, "Yep, yes, it is." So I'm excited for him to be able to watch it too. We both gave it 4.5 stars on Letterboxd. Where do we have it clocking in on our
9.2
scale?
9. Well, 9 if we're going around number. 9.2 if we want to go for a decimal point.
I like that. Yeah, I think I'm at a 9.4. I really enjoy it. It was a ton of fun. Like, we've said it a ton on this show before. It's like we need more comedies in our lives, and this was just like the perfect comedy across the board. So yeah, that gives it a 9.3 out of 10 overall, which
Bang.
is our second highest rated movie of the year that we have reviewed on the show. Just behind Marty Supreme by 0.1. Not too shabby for an indie comedy.
Yeah. Not too sharp, I do say.
Let us know your thoughts on Nirvana the band, the show, the movie, with your Nirvana the band, the show, the movie, the comment, or the podcast review. Let us know. Check out our letterbox reviews there. Leave comments on there. I've been super active on there since I saw Marty Supreme, so we're rocking and rolling over on the letterboxd. And leave those podcast reviews, YouTube comments, and let us know if you've seen Nirvana the band, the show, the movie, and how you liked it, because I feel like there are very few people who will dislike that movie.
Yeah,
it dislike is that movie. I want to speak to you and just ask you what's wrong with you.
What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?
What is wrong with you? Yeah, your highest rated project so far of the year for us.
Yes. And it is my highest rated movie to come out this year. And though I will say, in the case against this movie, nothing comes out in January and February. Unfortunately.
Yeah. So I mean, also for this to be a January-February movie is a nice little like boost to the calendar.
It's a nice boost, but I'm also not surprised because this is the type of movie that would come out in like January or February.
And I'll tell you what, it's probably gonna be better than Scream 7.
For sure.
So yeah, that is our Nirvana the band, the show, the movie review, which takes us to our next movie on the marquee, Christian, and that is Sinners.
Bang bang.
Sinners. I mean, what a movie. I will be billing Ryan Coogler for my loss of sleep over the next 7 to 10 business days, but it's all in good fun, my good friend. I think I've been very vocal about this on the show for a long time. I've been a huge Ryan Coogler fan. This is just only further cementing that.
Yeah. I keep going to say. Ryan Coogler is firmly in one of the how old is he again? Late 30s of that class of filmmaker, like in the sub 40 category. I think he's firmly the best director because not only has he established like a level of craft, but a level of craft across all his movies in terms of just the quality of the production design, the costuming, the visuals. Ludwig Göransson being going from college buddy to best best composer non Hans Zimmer John Williams category. And you look how he's gone over his career, where he started with Fruitvale, which is a smaller film. And then, if we're being putting it nicely, he locks himself into MCU jail, in which he does Black Panther, which Black Panther's a film that makes history, but also the first Black Panther film. He ties it into his own roots, where it's Oakland. There's a whole bunch of it about Oakland, and then COVID hits, and he's kind of like stuck in the wilderness. He does Black Panther 2, which Black Panther were kind of forever. Which it's hindered by Chadwick's passing. Like there's no way around that. I think it's visually a stupendous film. I find the story like I don't love the film because of the story. Like I'm just like like Letitia Wright's a negative for me. But off of his two Disney blank check off of his two Disneys, he gets his one for me. And oh boy,
And also, let's not forget he also did Creed.
Oh well, true. Creed, which you and I may have a discussion podcast about that coming down the line.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Stay tuned for that in the coming weeks.
Stay tuned. But Creed, which Creed is the best Rocky movie, but anyway, and then he gets to do his blank check original movie, and we get Sinners.
Yeah, I went into this having just seen the original trailer. I avoided everything.
Which, oh boy, that original trailer does not prepare you at all.
Yeah, like I knew like baseline premise of like this is Ryan Coogler vampire movie, and I was like, okay, this seems like it's gonna be really cool.
What was your thoughts when? Spoiler warning. What were your thoughts when the death metal riff hits? At the full moon, and you're like, fuck yeah, let's go. like that is fully the moment where it's like, oh yeah, shit's going down.
It's incredible. Yeah, I mean, like Ryan Coogler's also worked on other projects that I've like thoroughly enjoyed, like Judas and the Black Messiah. He was part of. Wasn't the director, but he had a hand in it. He's worked on some other stuff that I've really enjoyed, and like this movie was unreal with just like the casting, like you said, the costuming, which a lot of the costumes were taken away from Blade.
We gotta talk about that eventually.
I want to know which ones.
Dear. Dear Kyle.
But also, like, going into this knowing that this was originally MichaelBJordan, Jonathan Majors.
Are we positive of that?
And then Majors was...
Well, are we positive that it was supposed to be the two of them?
I thought so.
I mean, it feels like it, but also they've never said anything about that on the record.
Yeah.
Which would then make the twins thing seem like, okay, sure, yeah. But, like, it does, like, deep down feel like this felt like it could have been another Majors Jordan film.
Yeah. And it was just like... If that was the case, you could see it, but also, that film exists in another universe. The dual role for MichaelBJordan, I think, is so goddamn impressive.
Yes, and my friend and I have had a discussion about this where he calls it the best performance of the year, to which my only qualm with it is. But he's playing two people, so it's two performances. So I feel like we're like jumping through hoops somewhat to be like, it's the best performance of the year. It's like, well, he's playing two people, so which is the best performance of the two parts? Like that's my only qualm with it in the conversation. Because it's like, okay, did he put the best on-screen stuff in a movie? Maybe, but is either half of it better than a Chalamet? better than a Wagner Moura in The Secret Agent. Like, that's the only complicating discussion around Jordan for me, because I do think he is sublime in this movie.
Mm-hmm. And I thought like he just played the two personalities of being twins like extremely well.
Twins? Nah, we cousins. We cousins.
That delivery was so good. Yeah, I mean, what more can you say about Michael B. Jordan? He's the man. I was very impressed with Haley Steinfeld.
Dude, okay. So you, how much social media attention were you paying in March to the conversation around this, where everyone's like
about real life Haley Steinfeld?
Yeah, and it's like Josh Allen, our Josh, how are you coping with this? Specifically, after, spoiler, she's been turned and she's dancing with Stack.
Yes.
See, and now this is the problem with Jordan playing too. It's like smoke, Stack, and try to off the top of your head. And she does the line, which I forgot trying this verbatim. You rob trains and banks, but you ain't trying to rob this pussy for one that's like, brother, what the fuck? That is the moment everyone went, whoa, time out.
I was like,
time out.
Like 30.
Time out.
It's like, whoa, Hawkeye, relax.
Josh, are you seeing this, brother? Whoa. Time out on the field, folks. What the fuck just happened?
MVP.
But when she let that one rip, it was like, pardon?
Yeah. And like, when I say I was like very impressed with Haley Steinfeld, like it was very
Kyle,
I'm not Pat Pitts in this situation.
Sure.
Her dialogue delivery in this movie, I didn't know she had that in her bag.
She very much, which her character is what, one quarter black,
which I think it's 1/8, and that's what she is in real life.
Yes, so that's what I was going to say. Some of those line deliveries really were like one of one. Oh boy, shut up!
You gonna let me in here and drink or what?
Like, she was on the money.
Yeah, she definitely blew my expectations away, and like it was a really good, like, strong role from her. Where and how did they find Miles Caton?
Okay. So, do you want the story behind this from what I've heard?
I saw one thing that I was watching after I went and saw the movie. Like, he apparently submitted like a tape or something to Ryan Coogler.
Yeah, but so do you know how he ended up submitting?
No.
So he was on tour with her.
What the fuck?
And her was basically like, hey, Ryan Coogler's making this thing. And this is the story I've heard. And Ryan Coogler was making this thing, and she encouraged him to submit.
That's incredible.
Which again, like, her, stupendous, amazing, great. The fact that it's like her being like, hey, you, this, and she's like, okay, sure. Which, like, we can talk about it as we go along this. His voice,
oh my god,
like when he's first singing to whichever fucking twin it is. I'm not gonna try and keep trying to say the right twin.
Smoke.
And Smoke and whichever one he first sings to in the car and his face lights up, that's me going, oh, okay.
Yep. He's not even 21 yet, Christian.
What are we doing with our lives, man?
Apparently,
what are we
he
doing
filmed
with
this when he was 18 too.
That was filming 3 years ago.
When he was 18.
Oh God,
like,
God help us.
That's crazy. His voice is from another world.
His singing voice is from another world, and then his talking voice is like molasses and drags you in, and it's like a fucking snake charmer. And when he's talking to Perlene, you're like, ooh, brother,
chills. I've seen a lot of people talk about it too, where like this is obviously his first role ever,
which is insane, by the way.
Which is nuts. And everyone's like, he's going to go on to do something, whether it's music and acting. I don't know. I enjoyed what he put on display from an acting perspective for it being his first ever role.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I know a lot of people were like critical from the acting perspective and thought, it was a much stronger like vocal performance, which like, duh.
I mean, that's half the role,
right? And it's like this movie, when you break it down, it's kind of a musical. So to have that voice in your repertoire is phenomenal. Where do you see things going for him from this? Like, do we see him in more movies? Does he go more the musical route, or does he do a combo of both?
I think he will definitely be getting roles in the future, but he clearly seems to, as of this time, be more interested in just still doing his music. So would I be surprised if we don't see him act in another thing for a year or two? No. Would I be surprised if he ended up in the next Spike Lee or Boots Riley movie? No. Which he's not in the next Boots Riley movie, but the point I'm making is I definitely feel like he's a guy who will pop in and out of film for the next in the next 10-15 years.
He also feels like a guy that will be on Ryan Coogler's speed dial and be in damn near every movie he does. If the opportunity presents itself.
Yeah, he'll be picking up some of the slack from MBJ.
Yeah, like he feels like, oh, we're gonna put you through the Ryan Coogler school for movies that Ryan Coogler does, and you're gonna be one of Coogler's guys, which I think is awesome. To have a young actor like that, a young director with the pedigree of Ryan Coogler, like that's gonna be awesome. He was fantastic. Jack O'Connell.
Okay, so from this movie, I ended up going on a mini Jack O'Connell dive, which, Kyle, have you heard of a show called Skins?
Yes.
Have you ever looked at the cast of Skins?
I don't know if I have.
So Skins is a British teen drama that aired in the from 2007 to 2013. Yes, this is why I need to bring up people who spent time on Skins include Nicholas Hoult, Joe Dempsey, Dev Patel, Amy Fionn Edwards, who people would know from Peaky Blinders and Slow Horses, Kaya Scodero, Daniel Kaluuya, Jack O'Connell, Luke Pasqualiano, Alexander Arnold, Sean Teal. It's like, what? Like it's
crazy.
Like Skins has carried like a British invasion of fucking Americans. Like, what? But then you go through, it's like he was the star of Unbroken, which good film. I don't think it's anything too insane. And then obviously he's in the 28 years later movies from this year, which he's stupendous in. But what I went on a binge of was SAS Rogue Heroes. Which, do you know what this is, Kyle?
I do not.
So it's a show about the SAS during the creation and the stuff that the SAS did during World War II. And when I tell you Jack O'Connell plays a short, angry Irishman who hates his commanders because they're all posh British men and he's Irish. He is immaculate in this show, where he's always fighting someone. He hates the French. He is certifiably insane, but he will just randomly start quoting poetry. and he's playing a real dude. He's playing a real dude in SAS Rogue Heroes. It's streaming on Amazon Prime. It's streaming on MGM Plus, but it's 12 like 45-minute long episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Absurdly fun time. It is created and written by Stephen Knight, who, for those of you who don't know who Stephen Knight is, shame on you, because he's probably one of the kind of most influential British writers of the past, well, of this century, let's just say, because movies wise, it's nothing crazy. Eastern Promises, Locke, Pawn Sacrifice, Burnt, Spencer, and all that stuff. However, his TV work, Peaky Blinders, he's the man behind that. Taboo, which is a Tom Hardy show. SAS Rogue Heroes. And for those of you who watched it this past year, House of Guinness. So this man knows how to do a very specific strand of British. And oh boy, does he do it well, my friends. But
Yeah.
but to loop this all back around to Jack O'Connell, I think this is it's a fun villain performance, but it's also very nuanced, and while simultaneously being a commentary.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can add the layer of white people wanting to take over black art, which has been beaten to death on this. You can also account for the fact that if you do the math on everything he says of when he came over, he was Irish and kicked out by the English. So you have someone who was oppressed now oppressing,
right?
But he also understands what Sammy is going through. So like it's so nuanced and layered. And one of the great things about this movie, and what I was saying immediately after seeing it, was this is a film school movie for the next 100 years. Like there's so many layer upon layer upon layer upon layer to mine that the conversation around this movie will never die, because there's even people were saying, like, why are there Asians in the Mississippi Delta? And Kugler had to be like, well, if you look at it historically,
Mm-hmm.
there were Asians in the Mississippi Delta in these communities and all the stuff. It's like it's a insanely well researched movie that also just it has everything.
And if I'm not mistaken, on that same front there, I want to pull this up. Coogler's wife, her heritage is her ancestry through her father is from the Mississippi Delta.
And Coogler talks about his Irish heritage because Ryan Coogler.
He's like, I got an Irish first name. My brother has an Irish first name. And I think Ryan Coogler films too. He does such a good job of like, in a weird way, making you feel sympathetic for his villains.
Killmonger, yes. Namor's not technically a villain, but yeah.
He's kind of like your
the Creed. Does Creed really even have a villain?
I guess depending on how you look at it, like
I don't really I think the villain of Creed is weirdly Apollo Creed.
Yeah.
But the only movie where that isn't the case is Fruitvale Station, which we don't need to unpack that right now.
But like I think like he does such a good job, like especially with Killmonger, with even Namor to like a degree, and now with Jack O'Connell's character, like you weirdly feel sympathetic towards the villain, and not many directors have that in their bag. I feel like
I will also say I do think a large portion of his success is due to the fact that the worlds he create feel beyond lived in.
Mm-hmm.
Like you are dropped into a world and you're basically ready to believe anything and all of it because there's so much detail in it that there's so much detail and specificity that you're like, yeah, sure. I'm convinced that this like community existed in this way and there was and the same Asian family owned these two stores on the same strip and they have history with Smoke and Stack and this and that.
Yeah, like the first like hour of the movie is almost
Table setting
movie in and of itself.
Like it basically changes after what's in the conversation for scene of the year, which I know we're gonna get to that.
Couple more people I wanted to mention too. Wumi Mosaku, who walks away a BAFTA winner.
Which we're gonna talk about that after we're done talking about Sinners, but she is the while Miles Caton and MichaelBJordan really really kind of act as the driving forces of this movie. She both acts as like the heart of it and also the like audience avatar in a way through the hoodoo vampire garlic stuff.
Yeah, she was awesome, and I was like, I couldn't tell like while I was watching the movie, but like I knew she was familiar, and then I realized, oh, Loki.
Yeah,
But she was awesome. I loved her character. I loved her dialogue and like just her kind of being like the center of gravity almost to keeping everything level headed in the tail end of everything was awesome and incredible scene towards the end too, which we'll talk about. Delroy Lindo's the fucking man.
I feel like Delroy Lindo has entered the stage of his career where he's playing various shades of Delroy Lindo, which is not a bad thing
at all.
Like George Clooney is always playing George Clooney. Like plenty of actors get away with this, but I personally, like, he's so much fun. Like he he's the definition of like he understood the assignment.
Yes, he was awesome. Again, another voice that just let me hear you read a phone book because it's just incredible. But he was fantastic, and Omar Benson Miller, who
Cornbread, right?
Cornbread. Who I was like, again, another actor who looks very familiar to me, and people are just like calling it out from Ballers, and I'm like, you uncultured humans. He was in 8 Mile.
It all comes back to Eminem.
It always comes back to losing yourself. He was great. I loved his character too, and obviously when he becomes a vampire, that whole dialogue sequence was just spectacular.
Yeah.
But he was very fun. Loved that.
And did you hear the story around, I believe, him ending up in this movie?
I did not.
So if I have it right, Coogler like 8-10 years ago, like went to like a premiere or something of something Omar Benson Miller was in, and like this was when Coogler like was still like a nobody,
Mm-hmm.
and told him one day we're gonna work together, and now they make Sinners.
He's still relatively like young too. Omar Benson Miller. He's only 47.
Only.
Which, like, being an 8 Mile, which was 2002, he was also in American Pie band camp.
Do we want to run through the plot of this real quick?
Yeah, was there anybody else in the cast that you wanted to? I thought Lee Jun Lee was great.
Yeah.
Especially towards the second half of the movie, like when her character kind of
has a mental breakdown.
Yeah.
I'm gonna shout this person out, even though it is spoilers for our final discussion. But shout out Buddy Rich, right? But Buddy Rich, or Buddy Guy,
Buddy Guy,
Buddy Guy. Shout out Buddy Guy.
Yeah, absolutely. So the premise of Sinners: dance with the devil. Trying to leave their troubled lives behind, twin brothers return to their hometown to start again, only to discover that an even greater evil is waiting to welcome them back. I want to pull up here just the overalls. 7.5 out of 10 on IMDb, 97% Rotten Tomatoes, 4.1 out of 5 on Letterboxd, 85% on Google. This was a movie too. I was like going back and watching a couple podcasts like when this first came out, and people like, it's funny watching them in hindsight where it's like, yeah, maybe this movie will make like 50 to 60 million if it gets to where they want it to be. Budget was 90 to 100 million. Box office $369 million.
Breaking news. Breaking news. Variety's writers found in body bags in Oakland, California, after trying to spin Sinners box office as not success. Did you catch any of that?
Yeah, where they were trying to say they were trying to recoup money still after $369 million later. Plus,
truly,
I got a chance to go see it for the first time this past weekend, and I got to go see it. Shout out to AMC. They re-released Sinners in theaters for Black History Month, and I saw it for $9. Like, you can't beat that. But yeah, let's get into it. Opening scene, I like the way they kind of set the floor for things, where it's like, hey, this all happened, and then boom, it cuts to one day prior, and the fact that the entire plot of this movie is just all in one day is fucking awesome.
Yeah, this is definitely in the pantheon of the One Crazy Day films, where you have this, you have After Hours, which is kind of like the After Hours is the root cause of the One Crazy Day modern crazy film thing, where Marty Supreme owes a lot to After Hours.
Mm-hmm.
Well, just the Safdie brothers in general owe a lot to After Hours, and so this being in the pantheon with that is like really fun.
Yeah. So I love that right off the rip. I was like, "Oh, this is great." It just cuts back to the day prior.
Like when it said one day prior, you're like, "Oh fuck!"
I know I was like, "Oh, this is what we're doing." Okay. So in 1932, identical twins and World War I veterans Elijah Smoke and Elias Stack Moore return to Clarksdale, Mississippi after spending 7 years in Chicago working for the outfit. Yes, the other part of this, allegedly, Smoke and Stack are working for Al Capone.
Yeah. Do we need to unpack that though?
No, but it's just a fun wrinkle that it's like rumored that it. Oh, our friends, our loved ones went to Chicago and now they're working for the mob.
Yeah, it's kind of thrown in there and kind of not.
I think it's the perfect like trope of like hearing things through the grapevine.
Oh, I heard it through the grapevine.
It's like, you know, we're states away and there's rumors that are flying around. It's the 30s. There's obviously no internet or social media, so like stories get told, stories get passed along, you know, different work routes and stuff. And oh yeah, you didn't hear Smoke and Stack are working for Al Capone? I thought that was like a fun like little like wrinkle story thrown in there that like wasn't the entire like premise of their characters, but it's just like a fun wrinkle to where they've been and why they're coming back. And you know, they end up stealing a bunch of alcohol, and who knows, maybe that's who they stole it from.
Given its Irish beer and then Italian wine.
Math is mathing.
Math is mathing, folks.
Using money stolen from criminal syndicates, they purchase a sawmill from a landowner, Hogwood.
It's definitely in the school of how literal can I make someone's name and their role in this movie.
So yeah, they buy a sawmill from Hogwood, who was a member of the KKK, to start a juke joint for the local black community. Their younger cousin Sammy, a singer and guitarist, joins them despite his pastor father Jedediah's warnings about the sins of blues music. That's the other fun part of this movie, is that it is truly a like commentary on like this time period with the blues, and it's such a good movie about music that when you if you love music, like you love this movie even more.
I wouldn't even say it's just about blues as much as it is religion, where Sammy's dad wants him to stop, but he also wants to use his son in the church,
right,
for his own proverbial gain.
So yeah, like when he goes and joins up with them, and the jump scare of that snake really got me.
See, I don't even think that was the worst jump scare of the movie. Like,
no.
There's plenty, but like they're all earned jump scares, which is something I appreciate, rather than them just being like, oh, jump scare, it's like, oh, come on.
the sound effect they used too when they reveal the snake, I was like, Jesus Christ, man, this is too early in the movie for this.
There's a snake in my boot.
So the twins recruit pianist Delta Slim as a performer and local Chinese shopkeeper couple Grace and Bo Chow as suppliers. I loved the negotiating tactics between Grace and Stack.
Grace and pick the right brother.
That was just such a fun like back and forth, like where they're just going, hey, I'm gonna pay you this. No, it's gonna be this. It was very fun.
Yeah.
And then he also recruits field worker Cornbread as a bouncer and Smoke's wife, Annie, as a cook. Annie believes her hoodoo practices kept the twins safe, but Smoke doubts them for not preventing their infant daughter's death. And Stack runs into his ex-girlfriend, Mary, played by Haley Steinfeld, whom he abandoned to protect her from the white community. We talked about that whole sequence at the train station was just that whole scene was so good in so many different ways, where you have Sammy going and talking to a married woman. You have
Oh boy, be careful.
You have Delta Slim, and he's kind of, sizing up Sammy. Is like, no, what you're doing is not the blues. What I do is the blues. And, I've earned my keep. I've earned this spot down here. Like, you're not going to take that away from me. So you're not going to play your guitar down here. I'm going to keep playing. And then obviously gets alcohol thrown his way. And his reaction to drinking that Irish beer was the greatest reaction ever.
Not even his reaction to drinking it. His reaction to them opening the bottle. The man hadn't even tasted it, and he's like, whoa, hold on a minute.
I want to see. I think it was Bob Gooch from Project Big Screen. He did a logging of Sinners on his letterbox and said the reaction that Delta Slim had to that beer bottle opening is how everyone should react to beer bottles opening. But yeah, that whole train station sequence with that, and then you have Haley Steinfeld coming in. We talked about her line delivery, obviously. That was such a incredible sequence.
Stuck your tongue out. Just throwing a million miles an hour.
Oh, she came out throwing like she was Paul Skeens. Yeah.
Careful, Livy Dunn.
I love that whole scene. That was one of my favorite scenes of the movie, just with the complex nature of the relationship dynamics with everyone involved, with Sammy and Slim, with Stack and Mary, with Sammy and our married lady Perline. It was just a very, very fun sequence of events. So we go to the Juke Joint's opening night. Sammy, Delta Slim, and Perline, a singer with whom Sammy has become enamored with. That is our married lady. They perform on stage, and Sammy's music is transcendent.
This is where I call time. I like to use in conversation for scene of the year.
Yeah.
And in any year, in 99% of years, that wins best original song. It's just unfortunate that it goes up against a movie where the song was literally number one in the country for 15 weeks. Shout out K-pop Demon Hunters.
Yes.
Which it's really unfortunate because I was really hoping that yeah, and then you just have the K-pop Demon Hunters searching, and you're like, well, shit.
That whole scene was just otherworldly,
literally,
truly. It transcended time and space, but just the way that it's shot and
it's a wonder, folks.
Which is just, it makes it that much cooler. and you have the traveling back to ancient times, traveling forward to a futuristic land. Like I was in awe. Like I was like just captivated by that entire scene.
When the guitar hits,
Oh,
you're like, "Ooh, boy."
I was like, fire me up. Yeah, like if they did like maybe we start doing scene of the year as an award on this show, because good grief, that's in the pantheon of, like you said, this is gonna be a film school movie. Like they're gonna show that everywhere because it was just so well done.
Yeah, I mean it's yeah, I mean it's in both the symbology, in basically referencing the opening of the movie and literalizing all these different cultures coming together over music, and you have the whole thing on fire, and the white Irish vampire lurking in the distance going, yes.
Yeah, incredible scene. Which, to kind of reverse a little bit,
Everybody clap your hands.
elsewhere, Irish immigrant vampire Remick shelters from Choctaw vampire hunters with
Give me that movie.
literally that was probably my one, for lack of a better term, gripe. I wanted more of the Choctaw people.
Give me more Abraham Lincoln vampire hunters.
Like, do we get a Sinners 2 with that perspective?
No, not with Kugler at the helm.
Fair.
I will say that much.
But yes, Remick shelters from Choctaw vampire hunters with a married Klansman couple whom he turns into vampires with one of the most
He's
chilling
just
shrieks.
resting. He's just resting.
He's just resting. He'll be fine. That scream that she lets out is just
Scream into metal riff.
literally just like, holy shit. But yeah, the Sammy, going back to the incredible one shot. Sammy's music is transcendent, unknowingly summoning spirits of performers both past and future to join the show. However, the performance also attracts Remick and his vampires, who offer money and music in exchange for entry. A suspicious Smoke refuses, and the twins realize that their patron's reliance on company script makes it impossible for the joint to be profitable. Reasoning with Stack that outside income is necessary, Mary steps outside, only to be turned into a vampire by Remick.
As she's walking, well, first of all, him like salivating, being the trigger, creepy as fuck.
Yes.
And then her walking away, us seeing him jump up in the air quietly, and then her cuts to Perline screaming on the stage, singing her song. It's like, oh, you're a bastard, Googler.
You see like the footsteps go, and I was just like, oh my god. Yeah, so she gets turned into a vampire, and like I gotta say, the vampire wounds are fucking gnarly.
Yeah.
Returning inside, she seduces and fatally bites Stack. Not only fatally bites him,
boy. Hold on, before we talk about that, can we talk about Sammy finding the button?
Oh, he found that button.
Oh, he found that button.
The smirk that MichaelBJordan puts on here.
It's so good. It's so
fucking perfect. Like the delivery of that. Like MichaelBJordan is such a facial expression actor too, where like we've seen that throughout all of his movies.
Yeah.
And just the shit-eating grin that he puts on when he hears what's going on in that room is just so goddamn perfect.
Ooh.
He's like, He found that button.
and then the Asian woman comes over and is like,
He goes, "Go listen to my cousin."
shit.
Oh, it was perfect. But yeah, Married not only seduces and fatally bites Stack. They were getting it on.
Hooah.
With the door unlocked at that. Also, going back to Sammy finding the button, just the line
gall
delivery that is just unfucking believable. Just like the sex scenes and the sexual just like tension throughout this movie is insane. And like I was going back and watching a couple podcasts that someone was like, "Don't go see this movie with your parents." It was unbelievable. The line delivery in that was just spectacular. So Shock Smoke shoots Mary, but she is unaffected and escapes and yells out, "We're going to kill all of you.
We're going to kill every last one of you." And then runs out like one of the kids in Weapons.
And then, of course, Cornbread's got to go take a piss.
And
God damn
just,
it, Cornbread.
Just a little, it's like, oh, fuck.
And when he goes to take that piss, he gets turned into a vampire himself. Smoke closes the joint early. As the patrons and Bo leave, the vampires turn them. And Stack revives as a vampire, but flees after Annie repels him with pickled garlic juice. That is my favorite part about the whole vampire thing in this movie, is that we didn't have to do like the Scooby-Doo, Monster of the Week dissertation of, oh, vampires hate garlic and silver and everything.
And they have to be let in.
Right, like we didn't have to like do a whole like Vampire 101. It was just like, we're going to include this in the script. We already fucking know the hundreds of years of vampire history. We don't need to re-explain it to you again. I loved that entire aspect of this.
Yeah. It's a movie that doesn't baby its audience.
Yes. Annie realizes their assailants are vampires and tells the survivors how to deter and kill them. Although Remick and his vampires share a hive mind, their personalities remain intact. Still unable to enter the joint unless invited, Remick tries to negotiate by inviting the survivors to join him, saying that vampirism offers immortality and freedom from persecution. He promises to leave in exchange for Sammy, whose musical skills he wants to use to summon the spirits of his lost community, also revealing that Hogwood heads the local clan and plans to attack the joint at dawn. They refuse, and Remick threatens to attack the Chow's daughter Lisa at their home. But
all while now being able to speak Chinese through the hive mind, which is nasty work. Nasty work.
and what he says in Chinese, even
yeah.
So enraged, Grace invites the vampires into the joint and a fight ensues. Grace, Bo, Annie, and Delta Slim are killed while Mary escapes and Remick turns Perline. Smoke fights Stack and then assists Sammy in defeating the remaining vampires, who are all incinerated by the light of the sunrise. That whole scene was fascinating too, where you have Remick just like dunking Sammy in the water, and like there's a whole like baptism underlying tone to it, and you see him like turning into the devil, and then boom, sun's rising, bye vampires, and they like the fire tornadoes was a very cool visual.
Yeah.
So Smoke sends Sammy home before he kills Hogwood and his men. That whole scene, Christian, I wanted to wait until we got to this point. I know Michael B. Jordan's character, they fought in World War I. I don't know about you, but that entire scene where he's just going 1v however many clan members, it made me want to see Michael B. Jordan in a war movie.
I mean, I will happily watch Michael Jordan in almost any type of movie.
Yes.
So
valid. But I was like, I would kind of like to see that. I was like, this is kind of giving like, hey, let's get a war storyline for Michael B. and see what he can do, because I feel like he would thrive.
I mean, I mean this somewhat sarcastically, but we already got the Jonathan Majors war movie. No, but do you actually remember the Jonathan Majors war movie?
I vaguely remember. I don't remember the name of it, but
it's the one where he plays like a bomber pilot or something.
What was this? Was it The Five Bloods?
No.
Oh, Devotion?
Yeah, Devotion. That's what it was.
Yeah. With him and Glenn Powell and Joe
Yeah.
Jonas.
Casting everyone.
But yeah, that I was just like, you know what? I would kind of be intrigued to see Michael B. Jordan in some type of war movie, because he was going ham against those Klan members. So like I said, Smoke sends Sammy home before he kills Hogwood and his men, but is fatally shot. That whole sequence was also one of just my favorite scenes, where lights up the cigarette, falls down. He's like on the brink of dying, sees Annie, sees their daughter. She's like, you can hold her if you put that cigarette out. I don't want the smoke getting on her. And his last act, just absolutely annihilating Hogwood with that guy.
Truly elite.
Just gave him the rounds. And then he gets to hold his daughter. Meanwhile, Sammy disregards his father's pleas to seek salvation and travels to Chicago. And
becomes Buddy Guy.
Yeah. And then we get a mid-credit scene.
Which it's hilarious, because how many people walked out of that movie without seeing the scene?
Oh, yeah.
Which a scene which kind of changes a lot of things.
Yes. Before we bring, how did you feel about said scene?
I thought it was great.
I agree. I enjoyed it. I thought it like gave more depth to what we just watched, and kind of just gave you just more like context about how things continued to go. So we fast forward to 1992, which is 60 years later. An elderly Sammy, now a successful blues musician, is visited by an ageless Stack and Mary dressed in 90s garb at his local blues club. Stack reveals that Smoke spared him at the joint on the condition that Sammy live in peace. And after declining the couple's offer of immortality, Sammy admits that despite being haunted by that night until the violence, it was the greatest day of his life. Stack wistfully agrees, since it was the last time he saw Smoke or the sun, and the only time they were all truly free. Also love the typical commentary about music from back in the day versus modern. It's like, I hate that electric shit.
Preach.
When he whips out the guitar, boom, plays it again. Again, Haley Steinfeld didn't have to say a word, but just her mannerisms, like she was eating on that screen. No pun intended.
Yeah.
I also didn't realize there was another it's just I ended up watching it on YouTube, but
yeah,
it's just young Sammy playing in the church too.
Yeah. It's not really anything of note.
Yeah. If you want to just hear amazing vocals for a minute and like,
yeah, exactly.
Oh, go watch it, because it's great. But yeah, Sinners, Best Picture nom for a reason.
Yep, one of the top two contenders for Best Picture, which the great irony of this year is Warner Brothers has the two biggest movies of the two biggest awards movies of the year, and they're trying to sell themselves.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing here, guys? Look at what you just did, and now explain why you're trying to do what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. Make it make sense. Our letterbox reviews, Christian, you gave it 4.5 stars out of 5. When Coogler said he wanted to give audiences a full meal, oh boy, was he serious. Also, Ludwig is the best composer in the world right now.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason this is not a perfect 10 for me is I have a thing where I need a movie to fully shift through the gears. And this one was like it was always perennially stuck in like third and a half gear. Like it never shifted up to that fourth spot where I'm like, absolutely, yes, this is doing everything I want it to do. Like it was always very, very good, but it never fully got there for me.
I was so enamored watching this movie that my phone was in my pants pocket, and I didn't even realize until the end of the movie that my phone fell out of my pocket. I didn't even hear it fall on the floor.
Did it fall into your popcorn bucket?
It did not, but no damage to the phone, thankfully. But I was just like, oh, didn't hear you fall out. My review. I finally saw this in theaters. Parentheses, no judging.
Judging all the time.
First things first, Ryan Coogler is a genius, and I'm glad that I saw that from him years ago. MichaelBJordan handles the dual role flawlessly. It's truly incredible that this movie originally was MichaelBJordan, Jonathan Majors. This is one of the best performances from MBJ ever. He's a certified rock star, even more than before. The story, the build-up, the way music is the basis for this movie. Ludwig, you madman. Just an incredible movie that had me on the edge of my seat, squeamishly turning away and fist pumping the moment the sun came up. Miles Caton is a star. I need to see him in more movies, and I hope Coogler, quote unquote, adopts him into his world. I'm such a fan. Also, that's how you do a mid-credit scene. I have so many more thoughts to flesh out, and based on the horror and gore, I'll be able to type them out over the next 7 to 10 business days because I'm going to lose so much sleep.
Sleep overrated.
Sleep for the week. Christian, what is your scale 1 to 10 score for Sinners?
9.6.
9.6. Yeah, I think I'm there with you. I'm there with you. 9.6 just feels right. It is a movie that, like, I mean, for all the film heads, like the fact that Bill Simmons already did a rewatchables on it is pretty impressive.
Yeah, he's the only other like real recent film he's done that with is Top Gun Maverick.
Mm-hmm.
So it's in good company.
It was damn good, and I'm glad I saw it. Glad I saw it in theaters, and that is Best Picture nom 3 out of 6 that I really want to watch.
What are the other ones?
I still have to watch One Battle.
We are going to have a long pod about that.
Yeah. I mean, for an almost 3-hour movie, too. And then I got to watch Frankenstein, and then I'll probably watch Train Dreams.
I wish you the best of luck with Train Dreams.
Yeah, that's like if I get to it, I get to it. But I do want to watch One Battle in Frankenstein. But yeah, Sinners. Now, we've done, obviously, the highest rated movie we've ever done is Everything Everywhere All at Once. We have the list on our letterbox for the Hall of Film. Do any of the recent movies we have reviewed based on overall score fit the Hall of Film criteria? to be put in there with Marty Supreme, Nirvana the band, the show, the movie, and Sinners.
I think if we had to pick one, Sinners is the one that goes in.
Done deal. So, basing on a credentials line, what is the minimum score you would say overall for the Hall of Film? Being we both gave Everything Everywhere All at Once a 10 out of 10.
I feel like it's like a 9.5 is like the threshold where we can start to consider.
Yeah, that's where I was too. Marty Supreme is like right on that border. It's at a 9.4.
But I also think like what helps Sinners is there's multiple layers to it where Marty Supreme is like very much in the layer of like those like crazy ass films where I feel like you have to be a little more there.
Yeah.
Whereas Sinners has that more.
So yeah.
So
Sinners, welcome to the Hall of Film.
Boom, boom, boom.
Which we'll be adding more to that as time goes on, obviously. But so far, Everywhere All at Once, Sinners, into the Hall of Film. On our Letterboxd, you can check that list out. Follow us on Letterboxd at StreamerSZN, and that is our review of Sinners. What do you think Coogler does next after Black Panther 3?
I mean, well, no, like, so if you haven't seen the reporting today and just like what's been talked about for a while, he's rebooting X-Files. You have not been part of these conversations, my friend.
I have not seen that.
Yeah, he's and they cast the lead recently. I don't remember if it was Daniel Deadweiler or who it was, but yeah, like that's his like big thing right now. So
I'm into that. I'm into that from Coogler.
Yeah, I mean he's openly talked about how much he like loves the X-Files. So like
that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Quick BAFTAs talk. What we've been watching talk.
Pull up the BAFTAs because BAFTAs was like 2/3 chalk and 2/3 we are kind of BAFTing. Okay, 79th BAFTA Awards. Thank you. Okay, where to begin? One battle winning picture and director checks out. That's fine. Shrug. We know where we're headed at this point. Best actress, Jessie Buckley. Sure. Best leading actor, they just went full BAFTA and they gave it to a British movie. But it's the British movie of no significance to the awards race, though it does raise a little bit of a Timmy flag in terms of, okay, we just have to see him win at SAG, because if he doesn't win at SAG, then we're kind of sounding the alarm a little bit.
That was like the big shocker, I think, for everyone. Was that they went 0 for 11 with Marty Supreme?
I think I think it was over nominated to begin with, so I don't think that's fully fair. But Sinners and One Battle won both screenplays. Like that's just what's going to happen at the Oscars at this point. The one place where it's like, what the fuck's going on here now is both the supporting races where Amy Madigan won the Golden Globe, or no, well, basically Amy Madigan, Tiana Taylor, and now Wumi Musaku both have a win. We need to see who wins SAG. Like that's what's going to happen here. If I had to put a guess on it, it's either Tiana Taylor or Woon or Musaku, but Musaku would be a hell of a late surge. Best supporting actor is a literal clusterfuck. Where you have had the Stellan Skarsgård win as a precursor. You have had the Jacob Elordi win at Critics' Choice. And now you've had the Sean Penn win at BAFTA. What I am craving for here is SAG to go Benicio del Toro. And then we've had 4 people each win a different award, and you're going into Oscars night being like, is it Penn? Is it Skarsgård? Because Penn versus Skarsgård's the real narrative battle, where Penn has 1 billion Oscars and Skarsgård has never won one. Mm-hmm. But they're playing 2 very different types of roles. Though I will say Penn is unbelievable in one battle. It's truly elite stuff. Rest of the stuff, sentimental value in not English language film, not a surprise. I would say it's right now, barring a disaster, it's going to win that. Costume design and makeup and hair going to Frankenstein, not that surprising. Production design to Frankenstein, it shouldn't be surprising, but also it's like that's one of the ones that like Sinners is pushing for. Mm-hmm. F1 winning sound, it's been lurking, and that's notable. Avatar wins VFX. Sinners wins score, shocker. The real win of where does this mean something or what's going on here was one battle in winning cinematography. Because this is a very tight category, and you're also contending against Frankenstein and Sinners.
Yeah.
And Sinners was considered the favorite, but it's been slowly losing steam. And it has people concerned. So, I don't know what the betting markets say, but there definitely feels like there's some money to be made potentially on some one battle after another best cinematography bets.
I can check that for you real quick.
Now, to be clear, I would not make that bet simply because I'm not confident enough one way or another because there's too many competent level win showings this year.
Right now, it's on a non-named sports book. One battle's at -200, Sinners at +200.
For cinematography?
Yeah.
That feels low for Sinners. Huh?
Yeah, Sinners +200.
That's weird.
And one battle's at -200.
I don't like that. I don't like that.
You wouldn't make that bet.
Yeah, but it's more so like those odds feel like they should be more closer to even with each other. But I don't know. Like it's just feels weird. Feels weird that we've gotten to this point with Sinners where Sinners has the most nominations ever. Mm-hmm. And it'll come home with like 3 or 4. It just feels weird.
Yeah. Any other things on the BAFTAs?
No, as I said, it was pretty chalk. We don't have much to talk about on certain things. Yeah. Quick letterbox rundown, shall we? Things I've watched recently. I watched The Sixth Sense. Spoiler: he's dead.
Your review on Letterboxd got me so good with that.
Obviously, Nirvana, the band that showed the movie, The Rip, The Moment, Send Help, Muppets Take Manhattan, and Amore.
I love Muppets Take Manhattan.
It was a fun time. If you want to be depressed, and think about old age, watch a more.
I think I'll pass.
Not so fast, my friend.
What have I been watching? I watched K-pop Demon Hunters for the first time.
Was it golden?
It was golden. It honestly, I didn't know what to expect. I had zero expectation because I didn't really know. If Sony leans into the animation world, they're cooking with gas. Like, the animation in that movie was awesome. Obviously, the music is like the catchiest stuff of all time. And like, it was a fun story. Like, even though it was kind of like, basic things we've seen a ton, they did a good job with it, and I was thoroughly impressed. I'm a big fan.
Yeah. So Sony's starting now. Sony is starting to take the lunch of. Sony's starting to bite into the universal market share for kid-friendly animation.
Yeah, I was a big fan. I enjoyed it a lot. Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie. I watched the first X-Men movie. Holy moly, is it a miracle that they got greenlit to make as many X-Men movies as they did after watching them?
Anna Paquin, I'm sorry.
Whew. I was just... my gasps were flabbered at how unbelievably, like, bad that movie was. Like, everyone talks about X-Men being like the greatest like Marvel stuff, and I'm just like, that is what you bang the drum for? I don't know.
Cannot relate.
I don't know about that one, Chief. Like, Sir Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen were awesome in that movie, but like, I put it in my Letterboxd review, and obviously this movie came out in 2000, so maybe if I watched it in 2000, I would feel differently. But like, I just felt like I was watching big names cosplay as the X-Men rather than being cast as the X-Men.
Ouch, Kyle. Tell him how you really feel.
Yeah, it was rough. It was rough. And then I finally watched Captain America: Brave New World, which I think we talked about.
No, but we don't need to say a word about it.
Not as bad as I thought it was going to be, but holy fuck, what on earth was that Hulkification for the leader?
Not great, Bob. Not great, Bob.
Almighty, that was brutal. Yeah, word of advice, don't try to tie in a movie from 2008, a TV series from 2021, and loose ends from a movie in 2021 that we've been waiting 4 years for answers for. Not a great equation for success.
I'm sure they would agree with you.
But that is what I've been watching recently. I started His and Hers on Netflix. And then obviously I've been watching A Night of the Seven Kingdoms with Game of Thrones. But yeah. Good episode, I think.
I've been watching Industry, which has its season finale coming up. I would like to formally say that I need Max Minghella in more projects. Just truly one of the great slime balls, who you may know from The Social Network.
Okay.
He plays the Winklevi's partner.
Also, we're recording this on Monday. Scrubs is back this week, and I'm very excited.
Speaking of medical dramas, The Pit, baby.
I'm pumped about Scrubs.
You want your Scrubs.
I'm no Superman. And it seems like pretty much the entire cast for Scrubs is back too, which has me very excited. So very pumped about that. That's all we've got for you guys on this one. Make sure you're following us at StreamerSZN on the social, StreamerSZN pod on TikTok. Subscribe to the pod, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts in audio form. Leave a 5-star review. And of course, subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia and StreamerSZN YouTube channels, youtube.com/@StreamerSZN and youtube.com/@Underground Sports Philadelphia. Leave a like on the video, drop a comment in the comment section, click that bell icon so you know whenever new videos go live. We'll have our individualized reviews for Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie, the podcast review, and Sinners on the StreamerSZN YouTube channel, as well as Marty Supreme and The Rip. Just working on getting thumbnails created for all of those and getting them fully uploaded. We had to wait a couple days to upload videos longer than 15 minutes on that channel, but we are in the clear now, so getting those uploaded as well. So that's where our full reviews for every movie and show we do will live, separate from the full podcast episode. But this has been another episode of StreamerSZN, the exclusive TV and movie podcast on the Underground Industries Podcast Network. For Christian, I'm KB. We'll see you on the next one. We'll have our Stranger Things episode at some point, but until next time, we'll see you next time.
Peace.